and welcome back to Talking Chumado with your host, the star of the show, Hoku. I'm so grateful to be here on this planet Earth and share the messages, the wisdom with all of you. So thanks for tuning in. Got me a little sage here, just cleansing our space as we get started. Opening it up. Put that right there. On this episode, we are going to be talking Chumado, obviously, because that's the show name. But we are going to tap into recent astrological events that are coming up. I mean, of course, depending on when you're watching this video. And some cards around the astrology. And we are going to have a little tea talk. We'll get into that now. So, of course, sometimes I do actually drink tea, but this is, again, cacao, the medicine of the heart, helping me tap into, activate, and initiate the tea. The library is open. So, today, somebody down at the waterfall started to dig up sand from the sediment of the waterfall. And this has happened a few times. And my biggest quarrel with this is, first, they don't ask permission. And sure, the water, no one owns the water, and I guess that includes the sand. But they have to walk through either the land I guardian or the neighboring land in order to get to it. And the neighbor is like, no, I didn't give anyone permission. I didn't give anyone permission. So me and the neighbor are upset with this because further taking sand from the waterfall will make it so that the pool won't exist anymore. And what they do is they pile up the sand, I guess, to let it dry so it becomes lighter. But they leave the sand there for weeks, and it gets all over the rocks and makes the whole area really messy. And again, they don't ask permission, and then they just leave it. So today, I messaged the neighbor. He's like, I didn't know anything about it. And we both messaged into the group chat. He's a little quieter initially, and I speak up, and I start getting bullied. So the group chat is a group chat for like the neighborhood I live in, and some of the one person, and I think he's the guy who was digging up the sand, starts like bullying me in the group chat. And it's like so not cool because it's a community group chat, and he just starts saying mean things and is harassing me in the group chat, and not okay. Immature. We're all adults. Like, come on. And I thought this guy was kind of like my friend, but showed some true colors today. Anyway, enough with the tea. Let's get into the astrology. These silly cats, oh my goodness, add to the tea. They got the zoomies tonight, or all the time, but especially right now before I'm filming, and just knocked over their water. Ay. So, the last time I talked about astrology was around the Gemini new moon. And a lot has happened, and a lot is going to continue to happen going into the full moon. So, just a real quick overview recap. We had the Gemini new moon, and then we had Venus conjunct the moon. That was crazy. And then we had the solstice. Oh, and I forgot. We had Chiron. Chiron transitioned into Taurus. And Chiron only transitions every 8 years. We're going to get more into that. Coming up, we have the Capricorn Full Moon, in the Cancer Sun. We're transitioning to Cancer season right now. And the same day, we get Mercury stationed retrograde in Cancer. And the same night, Jupiter transitions to Leo. So what does that all mean? Well, let's recap and go back to Venus conjunct the moon in Leo. This was like last Tuesday. Can't remember the specific day. I want to say it was like June 16, 15, like June 14th, June 13th, those 3 days. So that was a crazy moment for love, especially if you're a fire sign, and especially if you're a Leo, or have Leo aspects, or are opposite Leo, or have interesting angles with Leo. And so Leo is the sign of flamboyancy, creativity, imagination. It is also ruled by the Sun and Jupiter and is outward expression. The sign of Leo rules over the 5th house. And what does that all mean? With it conjunct the moon that night, Venus and the moon, that gave this deep emotional quality where you could tap into your morals, your principles, your own love life. It could have also really stirred a pot. You could have made flamboyant decisions. I know a friend who randomly kissed somebody and hadn't kissed somebody in a while, and it also stirred that pot. And it's in the past now. It only happened for about 3 nights, but it really opened up a portal for people to tap into their morals and be able to express their morals, their principles, and their boundaries, their truth in a very clear way, at least to themselves and their family. Especially going into Cancer season now, it also helped align the home and set up the playground for what's coming with the astrological movements. Right after that, it was like June 17th, June 18th, no, June 19th. Chiron transitioned. Again, that only happens every 8 years. Now, we will have a retrograde with Chiron at the end of summer, and that will take Chiron back to Aries from mid-September to mid-April of next year. It'll be back in Aries, and then it will be stationed, the Chiron will be stationed Taurus for 8 years. This is huge. Chiron rules our deepest wounds, our shadows, our childhood traumas. And within Taurus, it's going to be bringing up insecurities, especially around our physical appearance, our financial instability, our home structure, our foundations when it comes to the material realm, home, friends, family, our physical self. And what this means for the next 8 years, and especially here at the beginning when we're feeling the energy really strong with the shift, you get to tune into the truth and authenticity. Because Chiron gets a bad rep as just being our shadow or our trauma, but it allows us to tap into the strength and power of the lessons from those things. And so, for example, if you're feeling insecure about your body or something, feel that to its extent, but don't revel in it. Don't be a victim to it, and allow yourself to repattern and reprogram the triggers and the traumas around those things, around your family, around your finances. It's time to finally break those stories and wake up in these areas of your life. A poignant time for this to happen as we're coming into the Capricorn Full Moon, Cancer season, and Mercury's retrograde, and Jupiter transitioning as well. Let's get into that. So the Capricorn full moon is going to highlight our subconscious, highlight our emotions, really bring to light the seeds that we planted over the Gemini new moon that I covered in the last video. And we really get to make strides with our careers, our long-term goals, our outward masculinity. Being in the Cancer season, so opposite Cancer sun, this is also going to show us how to step up in our emotions, in our emotional security, in our emotional boundaries, in our home, friends, family, and relationship dynamics. And it's going to be a really poignant mirror. It can be strong and abrasive, but it can also be really loving and wholehearted. Now, I'd say it's a great time, especially with the retrograde in Cancer with Mercury, to not be spontaneously reactive with your emotions. And generally speaking, that's a really good thing as well. But I would say it's a really good time to pause and evaluate your emotions before you take an action. And with Jupiter going stationed into Leo, it's going to be a time to express them as well with clarity, with ease, with grace, with flamboyancy. But again, do it with grace and mercy for the people that are around you. And take the moment to pause, because Leo sometimes doesn't pause, even though Leo is more of the older of the fire signs. It's the fixed fire sign. It still has its fire, right? And it can catch everything on fire. And so it's important to take that pause first and then initiate how you want to show up in community, how you want to show up in your family. This is a really, really poignant time to be seen, to rewrite the stories of your family hardships, to rewrite the stories here at home, to rewrite the stories in your community. But again, pause and authentically come to yourself, your heart center, before speaking up, especially speaking up in a rash way. Yeah, I can give individual astrology readings for this time as well. I mean, it's a very potent astrological portal that we're moving through right now. DM, comment, let me know, and I can read your chart and let you know how it exactly plays into the time now. I'm going to go ahead and give a general card spread for the astrological movement, the full moon and everything. And something here might resonate with you. I'm going to light a little tobacco first. Really quick, I didn't talk about the solstice. It was the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere and the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. And cultures all around the world have different traditions around the solstice. And for me, I stayed at home. I got really aligned with my masculine energy. I set down prayers for the rest of the year. I set down prayers for as the days get dark to remember my strength, to remember how to pull through the darkness, and to be the light in darkness. Hoku, the brightest light in darkness. Generally speaking, though, with the summer solstice, people are celebrating that masculinities. People are celebrating joy, the highlight of the summer. With the winter solstice, people are coming to the end of mourning and rejoicing over the beginning of getting more light and the days get longer. Won't spend too much time on the winter solstice, just because I'm celebrating the summer solstice. And we'll talk about the winter solstice as we get closer to that. The summer solstice is a very powerful time to connect with the sun energy, the father of all life, and to rejoice over that. There's cultural traditions around the summer and winter solstice all around the world for the last thousands of years. And we can see that by ancient archaeological ruins. People have built temples and things that have the sun line up perfectly with rocks right on the solstice. This is not coincidental. We might not know the full extent of some of these rituals that they would perform, but we know that they were rites of passage and deep celebration for their community, their culture, and we get to tap into that. Whatever culture, whatever faith you believe in, whatever religion, there is a potency, especially with all the astrological movements right now, but there is a potency to that day to really align yourself with how you wish to move forward. You can do that any day, but when you have the astrology on your side, it really helps align your mind and your body with the cosmos so that everything's working to help you move forward in the directions that you're choosing and desiring. I love cacao. So, this first deck I'm reading from is the Earth Magic deck by Stephen D. Farmer. I'm going to pull just some general Earth Magic card for us to tap into with the full moon. What's an energy that can help us during this full moon is what I'm asking. What's an energy for us to tap deeper into during this full moon? And as the retrograde and Jupiter transition as well. Collectively, we can tap into this energy to help us grow, move forward. And again, write the story that we choose. And the card is Rainbow, which is blessings. It is quite a blessing to see all the colors in the sky at one time. My waking dream paradise. Oy. And I would interpret this card as live your life like a blessing, because it is a blessing to be alive. And how can we attract more blessings in our life could be a great mantra for this full moon and throughout the retrograde. How can I, with my emotions, attract blessings into my life? How can I step into blessings? How can I put one foot in front of the other to be a blessing while I live here on this planet? So let's look at the general energy of the full moon, and then we will pull a card for a helping energy, and then we'll pull a card for an obstacle energy or a challenge that we're alchemizing. This deck is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I love this deck so much. Uh-oh. We'll let this card come out, but it won't be a part of the three that I just asked. And we'll see what that card means here in a moment. It was the corn card, which could be reaping the crop, reaping the fruits of our labors, and community. Corn thrives in a community of plants. There's a tale of the three sisters in North American native traditions where they would plant squash with corn with beans because they each help each other in the garden. The corn grows tall, attracts the sun, and lays down a deep root and doesn't necessarily take the nutrients or the water from the surrounding crops because it's dropping in deep with its deep root. The squash has very big leaves, and that helps retain moisture and kind of like acts like a mulch and shade so the sun doesn't hurt the roots or the other plants there, or the fruits of the squash. And then the beans use the stalk of the corn to grow up and also nitrogen fixate into the earth there and provide fertilizer essentially for the other crops right there, the corn and the squash. So, working together in community, which of those roles can you help be? Of course, there's a lot more complex roles in human community than just those three sisters, but it's a great analogy. We look to nature for the analogies of how we can operate in better coherence with ourselves and with other humans. Nature is the greatest teacher. So, the first card, the general energy, is the Tree of Life. I would say that plays into the Blessings card with the rainbow, as it would. The second card is going to be Soul Retrieval. This is the helpful card, the integration energy. And then the third card, which is the challenge card, is going to be, interesting, the rainbow. That is interesting, right? And the odds that across two different decks that the rainbow card would come out, astronomically improbable. But nonetheless, it happened. Let's get into it. The Tree of Life, Soul Retrieval, the rainbow, and the corn. The Tree of Life, the general energy. Well, the Tree of Life is the Tree of Life. It gives life to all things. It gives life to the spirit world. It gives life to our core essences. It's interwoven and connected to all of us. And I would say tapping into that as the general energy would be, how can your home be a tree of life? How can your core essence connect to the tree of life during this time? That's an important question. How is your offering in this world birthing life? How do your emotions birth life into this world? Soul retrieval, the integration energy, the helping energy. I'd say that this is talking about connecting with our ancestors when it gets tough. Connecting with how the stories of what we're carrying, like with the Chiron and financial insecurity or difficulties or hardships that we have at home or goals that we haven't actualized. How does this connect to our karmic soul ancestry and our actual hereditary ancestry? And how are we breaking the story? How are we breaking the trauma line with our consciousness in this life? So I'd say tap into your ancestors, tap into your soul, and retrieve the nuggets from them. What wisdom do they have to share with you? What trials and lessons did they already learn that you don't need to learn again? And you can tap into them. You can sit and pray. You can sit with nature. You can sit with a candle. You can sit with the fire. You can sit with your water. All of this has the ability to talk to us in many different ways. Because we're all one at the end of the day. We're all connected. It's a consciousness that is experiencing this world through us. And so, tune in. And you have infinite wisdom for you to work with, for you to shape the reality around you. And then the rainbow card. So beautiful. Also with a full moon on it, and this one has a full moon on it. Very interesting. Now, I would say that this card is asking, because it also goes with that first card, the rainbow that we pulled at the very beginning. And it's blessings as well. And it's also the many different colors of life that we all walk. Some people are Christian, some people are Jewish or Islamic or Buddhist or witches, whatever. And that can bring other perspectives that we might have conflict with. We might not agree with all the people who are far left or far right or pro this or pro that. But it's not for us to judge them. And it's a blessing to have their perspectives. So how does this challenge us, right? Well, they're going to come up as mirrors during this time. And we get to tune into it being a blessing that they are challenging us and that they're being a mirror so that we can see ourselves in a more colorful way during this time. I would say allow your heart to be on your sleeve, allow your emotions to be present and authentic. Again, take that moment, that breath before reacting with emotions to tune into, okay, what color is this person showing up in my life, and how do I paint that with my breath in this life? It's a very potent idea there. Because at the end of the day, we are painting on a canvas that we call our life with our breath. And how is your breath? Is your breath painting with the colors of the wind? Is your breath painting with all of the colors of the rainbow? Because you get to paint your life with all the colors that you should desire. But if you are inhibiting yourself by blocking out the prismatic perspectives of everyone else in this world, then you're going to live a very black, white, and gray life. So other people's perspectives come to us to help shine colors and dimensions into our life. We don't have to agree, we don't have to disagree, but can we meet the rainbow? Can we meet their perspectives and mirrors with equanimity? And then come from an authentic place to then weave our own prayer, wisdom, and story in this world. Potent reading there. Potent. Lastly, before we go, I just got these new incense balls. I haven't lit one yet, so I'm really curious. They're supposed to only go for a couple minutes and have a profound amount of incense in them. This one's intention is around protection. Of course, we can weave all of our own intentions into it as we wish, but I wanted to light one here with you guys so that we can set that idea of protection. This brand, by the way, is Aromanza, and it comes from Argentina. And so I want to set that prayer, set that intention of protecting us, protecting our vision, protecting us from the perspectives that might not align with us, and protecting us from our own selves so that we don't destroy, but we create, we birth life into this world. And so I want to just fan this smoke onto me and onto you so that we can walk and weave with the full moon and the retrograde and Jupiter and all the craziness in the world right now with a little bit more of ease and grace and protection from all of it. So let's take a peek at how this works. Supposedly I'm just supposed to light it. So here we go. I'm assuming it acts like a coal when it catches fire. Maybe it actually needs a coal to catch fire. Again, this is my first time that I've lit this. So I'm gonna just go get a coal from the fire. And I'll be right back. It smells so good. While it's burning here, you can just go ahead and draw a little bit more cards. Why not? Let's draw some specific cards around the Jupiter placement that's moving into action. How can we align with the Jupiter energy? Jupiter only changes signs every 13 months. Not as rare as Chiron, but still significant. Oosh. what is, again, just 3 cards. The general energy of this Jupiter Leo, an integrative aspect of this Jupiter in Leo, and the challenge of the Jupiter in Leo. Of course. The first card that popped out, again, the general energy of Jupiter and Leo, the Fool, of course. If you know, you know. I'll explain in just a moment. That integrative and helping energy is going to be the Devil. Interesting as well. And then what's that challenging aspect? What are we alchemizing? What are we growing out of? What are we growing over? The 10 of Pentacles reversed. So, the Fool, as the general energy, of course, being, just feel that smoke as well. It's really yummy. The Fool is all about walking to our own beat of life. It's all about being authentically and uninhibitedly ourselves. And I'd say that is the essence of Leo energy as well. Tobacco is also a protective energy, so we'll just weave that into this. So being uninhibited, be ambitious, walk the walk that you want to walk in your authentic nature. The helping energy, the integrative energy, is the Devil, and the Devil sometimes gets a bad rep for its name, but sometimes this card also shows up in tarot as the Lust card. Having some significance as well to the card number 8 or 11, depending on your tarot deck, Strength. And it can, depending on how it pulls out, like if it were to pull out in that 3rd slot as a challenging energy, it would mean something different. Oof. 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 It's really yummy, this incense. Wow. But it really means in this integrative and helping energy is to live life, to not hold back, to dive into some of your guilty pleasures, to experience this human experience that we're here to live. And that also aligns with Leo energy. It's flamboyant, it's creative, it's expressive. So create and express in all of the different ways that you love to live your life. The 10 of Pentacles reversed is indicating that we need to also set boundaries, though. Set boundaries with ourselves and how we're showing up in community, not taking on more than we can chew, not putting ourselves in sticky situations at home by allowing people in that aren't supposed to be there, but also to be more generous and to give. The 10, which ties to the Wheel of Fortune in the major arcana, is abundance, more than we could ever take on just by ourselves. It's the anti-scarcity. And reversed, it's talking about letting that abundance flow, letting it go, not holding on to your voice, not holding on to your creative expression. And so sometimes it might seem like your audience isn't there for you to express to, and that's fine, because this isn't performative work that we're doing. It's literally the opposite. It's for you and how you choose to express to the world. So don't let that get in your way either. Take a time to express just for yourself. Sing, draw, just for you. And then when that comes in community, share that as well. Share your art. Share how you do your art. Teach it. But also setting the boundaries of where you do that at, because it won't always be accepted everywhere. And also being able to be aware of that is a heightened Leo aspect as well, knowing when you might be too much for the space. Now, that in and of itself is a paradox, because space is infinite and scarcity is a human construct. So you can never take up too much space. But sometimes your energy doesn't need to be in the space for the protection of yourself, not necessarily anything for the others. Allow your energy to flow where it easily goes. Listen to the water in that way. The water follows gravity and flows down the path of least resistance. You certainly can tap into that with this card. Wow. And the incense is almost done burning. Wow, it's been so beautiful. Thank you, Panchamama. Orpiai Sonkoyai. Mahalo, Ho'omohala, Ho'omalohia, Mahalo ke Akua. Thank you for this life. Thank you for the water. Thank you for these cards. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this moment here now. I love showing up and talking Chumado with you, with the medicines, with the cards, with the astros. It's truly a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, taking your time to listen, and integrating whatever you will from this message. I'll be here, showing up with more creative content. It's in the cards. Something I love to do and express to you. Again, if you are interested in personalized astrology readings or human design or anything along those lines, I'm here for that as well. If you have questions, comments, feel free to leave those in the comment section or DM those to me as well. And until next time, stay elevated. Aloha.